welcome.
Happy
Episode
Monday.
26 of What Are You Drinking Now here at the office. We are ready to get into it. I think we're going to have a decent show tonight. We're kind of all ready to let loose. Well, except for this one over here.
I finally...
You already let loose a few times already.
Yeah, he's stroking a hangover from yesterday. So.
Oh, no, I don't know what you're talking about. But I did finally get my Halloween costume. Yeah, it's a bum.
Yeah. So, just to start off, my palate cleanser night, I'm drinking the Yay Toast from Gizmo. I like that. It's kind of mild. Even though it has that maple going on, I don't think it's going to affect too much as far as other beers. Especially what we have in store to try tonight.
I've got the Dragon's Breath apple cider with ginger. I figure, at sushi restaurants they give you the ginger as a palate cleanser. Why not try it in liquid form?
Hey.
Also, it's really good for your belly when it does not agree with you.
See? Told you.
People are onto that. The ginger's been a nice bite. People are digging it. Our comment room is open. Chat's open. So feel free. Let us know what you guys are drinking tonight.
What are you sipping on there, Nick?
I'm sipping on the Quasar off tap.
Right,
I wanted to
cool.
just play it down the middle, get a nice pale ale down. Comfort zone.
Yeah,
That's a good beer right there.
that is good beer.
Yeah, it's got a nice...
It's not IPA, but it's a pale ale.
It's a pale ale. It's got a nice bready feel. It's if you're a Sierra Nevada fan, you'll like this. This has some cool notes in it that Sierra just kind of leaves out.
Cool. So I know what you've got. I don't know what Josh got. I'm gonna think we're gonna go with what Josh has tonight first.
Oh yeah, I forgot what he got already.
His is Imperial. Yours is Imperial. That's
Just to make it,
yeah.
just to complete the bomb look.
Yeah.
It's, I got a brown paper bag.
I promise you though, he's not pulling out Boone's Farm.
No, it's not. It's not Mad Dog. It's not Boone's Farm. This is a lot better than that stuff. Raster 107, what's up?
Hello.
All right, so we got the Capella
From
Porter.
the same place that made his draft.
Absolutely, same brewery. Ecliptic out of Portland.
Yeah, so we're staying on theme with this one, trying out some West Coast. It's the winter, guys, so we're gonna try this dark beer thing for you tonight.
Yeah, I'm kind of suggested away from Nick's usual. Take him out of his comfort zone.
You're gonna have to reorder to get me on some new IPAs because I think I've tried it. Wow, very pleasant. No, it's just nutty, just like porter all the way.
All right, so give us the breakdown on this porter, Josh.
All right, so this is pretty much your standard porter. I've had it. I really wanted to kind of go over it because we did the Carina sour, the peach sour.
Peach sour, which was fantastic.
That was an absolutely phenomenal beer.
All three of us really like that.
Ecliptic is quickly getting to be one of those breweries that I consider like Bell's or Founders, where they don't make bad beer. They just make ones I don't like as much as their other stuff, but I like them all. If that makes sense. This right here, it's named after a star in a constellation. Chocolate caramel notes is what they say on the side of it. Hop with Nugget, Chinook, Centennial, and Cascade. So it's straight American hops right here. It's all your classics.
Nice hopped up porter. I mean, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I mean this. I haven't had it in a while. This guy right here is 5.2.
So not too bad. It's definitely not a Baltic.
39 IBUs. It's not terribly bitter either.
Man, I think if you like a nut brown, you're gonna like this.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I was hoping you could grab that bottle opener. I was so gonna pocket it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Bell's bottle opener. No.
Coveted item.
Yes. This smells like your traditional porter.
Tastes like classic porter.
Yeah. This is screaming for a burger.
This is just a perfect example of the style to me.
A lot of people ask, what's the difference between porter and stout? Technically, nothing. But for me, lately, I've noticed that stouts are generally going towards the creamier side, like a milk stout type thing.
Yeah.
Where porters are staying more pushing towards the coffee.
The historical difference, which is not the case anymore, porters are dock workers, so effectively they make the stouts, but the dock workers didn't get paid enough to afford the full strength beer, So they watered it down.
It's like a 90 shilling versus a Scottish ale kind of thing.
Yeah. Because you see, all those are done by weight of the malt or something like that, I believe. Because it's you got the 60, 70. The
Yeah.
So with that being said, what makes a porter or a stout a stout? I mean, what makes it dark?
They're dark ales. They're roasted malts.
Yeah, you definitely have the roasted malt. One traditional thing that I find with a lot of the English ones is what you call patent malt, which is a completely torched malt. I mean, it's burnt. So you get this like rich, toasty note. You only need a little bit of it when you make it, but when you put just a little bit of that in there, you get that rich toast, that rich smoky almost.
Now, are we talking like toast going towards burnt toast? Or
The patent malt is going to be black. Like, it's just black. Then you just put a little bit in there, kind of like salt and pepper, like a salt and pepper mix.
So when they say breakfast stout or whatever, we're actually talking, this is stuff we're drinking for breakfast because it's toast.
Oh, absolutely, no.
Yeah, I dig what you're saying.
This is a great breakfast beer. I've never done that.
I'm still with porters like this. It just cries out like bacon Swiss burger to me. Like it just wants some meat,
another breakfast
cheese,
thing.
Oh, absolutely.
fats, and so it's like there's something about the body of a porter that just screams for a little heartier, greasier food. Your fish and chips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you're not going to go towards, I mean, I guess you could have a big steak with it, but you're looking more towards the dock worker
Well,
food.
like what Josh was just saying, we're literally drinking like a burnt malt, so it's kind of throwing your palate a Hail Mary. Like I can see what else you taste while you taste this burnt stuff. So coming back then, being like trying to taste some delicate poached fish or something, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
Just go get the fried platter and a porter and feel like a dock worker. Yeah.
Now, one thing I do have a question. So this does have hops in it. So why is it not tasting hoppy? Is it just because it's being overloaded?
Oh, I
with
taste
malt?
the hops.
With the 39 IBU, I can get the hops. With the porter, a lot of it is going to be that toasty kind of covering up. But I get a little bit of hop,
I do.
enough to balance it out. I mean, this is definitely an American take on the porter. If this was an English porter, there'd be almost no hops. I mean, England doesn't like hops.
Okay, all right.
I mean, they're a whole.
Even their varieties.
There are
Kent and the Golden.
hilarious stories from like back in the 1700s, 1600s, talking about how hops made you infertile and stuff like that. Straight propaganda campaigns. They did not like them. But yeah, this is just a wonderfully balanced porter. Right
Cool.
here.
So, Raster, where are you from? Are you still with us?
Are you with us, Rast?
Are you with us, Raster? Speak up.
Oh.
Anyway, so let's, what's your opinion on this one? I mean, this is a straight classic American porter.
Raster's no longer with us.
This is what I like with porter. There's a lot of flavored porters out there. There's people putting actual chocolate into porters. I feel like I can taste chocolate tones in this, but then it moves.
Hot cocoa from Wiki Wheat.
It moves on to other tastes and other tones. So for a moment, there's black licorice anise, and for a moment, it's like burnt toast. For a moment, it's cinnamon and chocolate, and it just kind of like runs through all these taste spectrums. They're all the really far end. Like we're talking dark flavors.
It's one of the.
But this is a natural porter. There's no additional sweeteners. There's no additional fruits added. There's no
adjuncts or nothing, man.
Yes.
It's
No,
just.
and
It's
I
just
understand what you're
straight
saying. I
beer.
mean, we have the that porter from Poland, the Combs, that's a raspberry porter. Now, don't get me wrong, that
really
thing
good.
is awesome.
So
yeah. And they also offer a Baltic porter, which
They're both Baltics.
we were talking about. The difference between a Baltic porter and an English porter is that English porters are designed like ales. They're brewed with ale yeast. Baltic porters are designed like lagers.
I just thought it was because the Baltic Sea is cold.
Yeah.
Well, have you shipped anything already?
You better plan on brewing at a lower temp. Like,
You're right. Baltics are lagered, and they're also minimum 9%.
So it has to be that imperial strength, yeah.
So,
Again, it's cold on the Baltics.
yeah, so you need that 9%
Yeah,
to keep
well,
it
so
warm.
it doesn't freeze like the booze itself when you're shipping it and whatnot.
Mhm. It's a good point. That's a good point if you think the old wooden ships.
That's gotta be a
Keep it in
fun,
the hold.
back in the Hanseatic days, you know, just sailing in the Baltic Blue.
No.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, no.
The Hanseatic days, yeah, like, we're not part of Prussia, but we're definitely sailing into this.
Yeah,
Is it East or West?
Yeah, Google the Hanseatic League. That's your tidbit of info today.
Yeah, the Hanseatic League, that's a very important time in the development of the German identity.
And beer.
Yeah, the Hanseatic League.
So, back to this beer. I just want to agree with you, Nick. I do.
Finally!
Well, yeah, it's not.
It's almost as good as being right.
So as the flavor, you know, I take my taste, and as the flavor goes through my palate, I mean, I'm getting the different, you know, flavors that you were talking about.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's one of those things that you know, maybe a little subliminal, you know, messaging that you put in my head on those flavors, but I am getting the differentiation as it goes through the palate. It's not just all one burnt toast. It's not all just one cinnamon and chocolate. It's not, yeah. It's varying through.
You know, I'm sitting here just nibbling on fruit while we do this tonight, and I was just kind of curious. We always end up talking about food. There's a lot of fruited porters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating grapes and strawberries with this porter. It tastes good. Like, it's a good combo. It doesn't steal from the porter. It's supported. And this is the kind of fun we're telling you to have. Drink some of your stuff. Eat some of your common favorite foods. And just see how your palate interacts with the beverage and the food together.
That's actually really cool. That's a really cool pairing. It's not sweet at all once you have the beer.
Well, yeah, I never would have put that.
I didn't even think about it until it happened.
The tannins on the grapes going to go really well with the porter, man.
That's what I found myself doing with that last sip, was just like soaking the grape skin and the porter, and it was really friendly and good.
Yeah,
it's
good call, Nick.
But I will say, grapes always taste better when you're laying on your side wearing a toga.
Yeah, and preferably if they're like being fed to you.
Yeah,
like,
and grapes are always better when you're not the one with your hands on them.
Okay, so Josh is having a dream again.
He wants somebody else's hands on his grapes.
So I said, good call, which is almost as good as being right, which is almost as good as being...
This is good, we're on a roll.
So you're on a roll, Nick. Keep it up.
I tell you what, while we're there, why don't I just open my beer?
All right,
Sounds
good.
about it. Yeah.
Because, hey, this one's an Imperial. I do know what it is. This is a release once a year by...
Thirsty Dog Akron. Say it right. Akron. Is Thirsty Dog Akron?
So this is we're doing this for $3.75. Akron's a really cool story. Akron's a city back on the rocks. I don't know if people realize this. This was a city that's hit.
Let me let you know something. So I tell everybody I moved here in the 3rd grade. So before the 3rd grade, I lived in Brimfield, Ohio, which is a suburb of Akron.
Yeah, not too far from Green.
So we would go into Akron 5 times a week, go past all the tire plants.
Yeah, the Goodyear and the Firestone.
We every winter we go and sled down Firestone Hill, and it great sledding.
What is a sled?
Yeah.
It's the thing that changed my life forever.
Sorry, I grew up in the swamps down south. We don't really know what sleds are.
But so yeah, I know Akron, home of the blimps.
Yeah, the Akron.
The American blimps. Whoa!
Almost had a casualty out there, guys.
They're based out of.
Oh yeah, I meant to show this bottle. That's what I was trying to remember. This is the Siberian Night. Okay, so we might have a little Russian inspiration in the stout.
That's what I was going to say, the Russian Imperial Stout.
It says
Siberia was a desert in Africa.
So let's just talk brewery. You guys are talking about Akron. So Thirsty Dog, again, is the brewery. Thirsty Dog Brewing Company, Siberian Night Imperial Stout. It says Imperial Stouts are by far the granddaddy of all stouts. Rich, dark, deep roasted, satisfying flavor. It's made in the same tradition. It is creamy, full-bodied, complex character, generous amounts of roasted, toasted, and caramel malts. So I'm not hearing much talk about hops, and again, they focus on that word creamy.
Yeah. So
And
we're
these
look-
are
we're
some
looking at
observations that Rob said about what's happening with sort of the modern differentiation and permeation of American porters and stouts. Whether they're designed to be English, Baltic, Russian. Oh, that's kind of. Is that the first beer talking?
Yeah, that was the porter. That's
Yeah.
3.6 out of 4.8.
I'm supposed to hit you guys with a ABV. I think it's a 9.7
Yeah.
with
Almost 10.
58 IBUs. So this technically should be a little more bitter.
Oh, it is gonna be.
Dude, Josh is gonna go nuts at this. Original Gravity was 25p.
Yeah. 25 Play-Doh. Does it have a? Is that specific on there too?
It doesn't have specific. It just gives. I guess we could do the math with the 9.7.
I don't feel like it.
But it's
So,
a very weird
so
selection.
for those of us who have never brewed before, how about explaining that, guys?
Okay,
That's
so-
about twice as high as Josh and I ever get on
Gravity.
gravities.
Specific gravity is a measurement of dissolved solids in a liquid.
Mm-hmm.
When you're brewing beer, that basically means all the good stuff that turns into booze. So you want a higher number to begin with if you want a stronger beer, and then you want a lower number close to 1.000
When you finish.
towards the end. That's all of it in a nutshell. It gets way more complicated than that because you can measure it in bricks, Play-Doh, or the specific gravity that
Bricks
I'm
I
talking
know
about.
from wine, which is sugar content.
Bricks is sugar content, so you can't always rely on it for beer because you have other proteins that are dissolved in the liquid and yada,
Secondary
yada, yada.
sugar fermentations and blah blah blah.
And it gets deep.
So there's no head on this.
Wow.
It's very tiny, but it's a slick little head.
Uh,
Goes away.
One
The
thing,
bubbles are not continuing to pop through this.
one
like
thing
the
I
other
will
beer.
point out is if you look at the color of the head, it's freaking like brown leather. So you can tell there's a patent malt in this, man. There's some darkness.
So
Because those dark particles are literally hanging on right into the beer lace. The beer lace itself has the color of this.
Hello, fat cheese sandwich.
Yeah,
I
eat it.
love that name. Actually,
Yes.
so
I'm not the wrong
the thing that hit me, anise, licorice, right on the back of the palate.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it
100%
gets even right through that down to like where Josh and I can start talking about these cool astringent flavors
Oh, yeah.
that we're gonna basically break out like medical terms. But it's got this. You're gonna be blown away, and I know what it is
I
basically.
get slight notes of witch hazel.
Like when you open a Band-Aid and it just has that like fresh smell. But I think that's literally the booze coming out.
Latex. So, a little bit of fresh latex. I don't know
Alright,
how I
boys.
feel about that.
So the comparison between
What are you drinking, fat cheese?
So the comparison between the porter and the imperial stout, right now I get a little more sweetness, a slight bit of creaminess to go with Josh's latex. Yes, I went there for you.
Serious face.
But I get like
And I was thinking about a tree, like an actual like.
yeah, so
Rubber tree
Yeah,
and-
Josh was too. That's why he was losing his crap. over
Hey,
Did
you
you
telling me
realize
they
what I
grow on
said?
trees?
there. So
They grow on trees. It's no wonder more people wouldn't use them, right?
no wonder more people watch this. No. So.
You win, fat cheese. You caught that one.
So, yeah, I'm getting more creaminess.
It's very pleasant.
I am getting a stronger coffee on the front end.
There we go. Yeah, French roast coffee.
It does have that kind of French roast specifically, that extra bitter aspect to it.
But that rolls through.
Like,
Little
did you guys
creaminess
burn
to the
my
palate.
coffee on purpose?
And then back, it's like licorice, black licorice.
Oh yeah, the anise is a really cool flavor that I always tend to get in really good imperial stouts.
Now I'm gonna try your.
So
I've had a lot of really
I don't
bad
get-
imperial stouts.
I don't get a big hop profile.
I do not.
But we're technically more bitter on this beer.
I can tell that there's more hops in it.
I'd take
but
a,
it's
a
not.
stronger hop profile. Once I got into it, I had to take it more in the porter.
It's not aromatic hops. Because
Yeah.
a lot of what we're used to nowadays are the dry hopping
Yeah.
and like aromatic hops.
Yeah, they
stuff.
feed your multiple senses.
This is going to be more like a traditional West Coast IPA where it's a lot of bittering.
I see a lot of similarities to Obsidian Stout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of bittering and not necessarily like flavor wise. I think it's mostly just originally they overhopped it like IPAs. They wanted to make it last the journey.
The Midwest too.
I've had originally it was nice having it with us.
Deschutes River. They opened a second brewery, and that's why we started seeing fresh tweeds and all that.
Yeah.
I think it's in Virginia. I can't remember exactly.
I really like this a lot.
I do too.
Yeah,
I am getting a little bit of the sweetness
I'm pretty
that
happy
I
with
get
Thirsty
from a
Dog.
higher alcohol content.
I wondered if Thirsty Dog was going to be able to handle the complexity of that which they labeled as Siberian Night, this Imperial Stout. But I'm really feeling it. I feel like it's very positive.
I have no problem telling people who are looking for a big Imperial Russian Stout. This'll
Dude, and what did I say? 275, 375?
Yeah, 375.
Yeah,
What
so
I
it's not
love-
bottom shelf pricing, but for a 9%.
I love the mouthfeel and the texture.
Yeah.
It's velvety.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. That little bit of extra body that just.
I think that's what they mean by creamy, is what Josh was talking about right there. And I don't necessarily taste it as creamy, but I feel it as creamy.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes down smooth, you know?
Yeah.
You know when you just barely put a little cream in your coffee, you don't barely change the color, you don't really change the taste, but it just changes that texture.
That's perfect. Like I said, the burnt coffee on the front, getting creamy mid palate. There's where you get that little creaminess from your coffee, and then
Yeah, it's a very positive beer. It's giving me a good feeling. Porter and Stout night's working out.
Yeah. I can't disagree with that.
What I will say that I'm very happy is that we're having two beers that legit don't have anything else put in them. These are two,
Yeah.
according to the German purity law, beers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's malt, it's hops, it's water, it's yeast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're picking up nuances, flavors, like it's a showcase of like people who are really good at brewing, dragging out all the little nuances. It's like when you drink a wine, you don't put strawberries in wine. If you do, you're doing
Or
it wrong.
blueberries, or
But you can pick up the flavors, and it's like this is a master class right here.
So
You know,
What
Rod
the-
loves flavors. Josh and I are kind of purists. We've brewed together.
I won't say I
I-
love flavors, but I know what
You
you're talking
do.
about.
You
I know what
like
you're talking about.
taste,
I
you
know what
like
you're talking about.
flavors. Josh and I are very much purists, and we knew we were getting to a dark beer night like this coming up. And I think both him and I had our eyes on a porter and a stout in that case that was a non-flavor. That was just like Josh says, as beer.
A beer flavored beer. I mean, he can't go wrong with it.
And then from there, you can start adding to that six-pack. You
No.
say, oh, let's get a raspberry, throw that in there with that, and try that after, you know.
Now I am going to say that for those of you that like light beers,
Yeah.
like an IPA, or
Don't drink what
you're not going to like either one of these.
Well,
This-
I like IPAs,
Well-
so I don't know necessarily that an IPA drinker.
Yeah,
would
but
love
your
this.
horizon is a little bit broader than because you really try to go outside
I
the box.
loved porters before I loved IPAs. I'll be honest.
Okay.
All right. It's really just a matter of when you wake up, what's left in the fridge to.
For me,
Hit the hair of the
yeah, it won't be 4 spiced ales in a row anymore.
But if somebody comes at me and says, "I'm not so sure I really like dark beer," I'm not gonna.
No, I
I'm
wouldn't.
not gonna.
I would not recommend either one of these to somebody
because
who's
this is somebody who likes dark beer.
These two beers are for the guy who says, I like dark beer and I don't like that flavored crap my wife is drinking.
Yeah.
Because this is not a flavored ale. These are porters and stouts.
If you're one of the people that are convinced that you like Guinness and therefore you like dark beer, I would give it a second before you dive into the.
Maybe try the Moylan's Irish Stout we have on tap.
That's another good point too, because Guinness, while it's really popular,
It's closer to a nut brown.
yeah,
It kind of defies category. Yeah.
and
it's Guinness is Guinness.
But it
and
is
it's-
the patent malt that makes it that black color.
and it's very much milked down.
Well, so it is now. There was a time when Guinness was sent around the world, and it was actually one of the first beers that they figured out that dry hopping with.
Yeah.
Guinness Extra Dry was one of those dry hopped cask beers that got sent out as this draft stout. But by the time it sat on these like cases and got sent to Australia, to the overseas areas and the Straits and all that, because there was a lot of British naval stuff going on.
Oh yeah.
They sent these Guinnesses over there. They were favorites. And then the style became sort of mocked. So if you've ever had the Taj or these, there's classic India beers from India that have the American IPA taste in them.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's incredible.
Now we're talking about American IPA versus how do we get from Guinness to American IPA?
My point is basically that, yeah, we took Guinness out of the British Isles and sent it straight around the world. In order to do that, they had to dry hop it. There was a couple other beers that were favorites at the time that this was done with.
There are always people that there've always
This is where Guinness Extra Dry came from. So
there
we have to
people who
remember,
didn't like dark beer.
there are several varieties of Guinness that are out there, and one of them just happens to be Guinness Draft in the can, and that became popular in America because it mimics the Guinness Irish Draft.
It's all cask ale when we get down to it, but we need to just have a master class. You know what? Why don't we do a cask ale and just drink a whole cask one day?
Guinness is its own category, I guess. And if you like Guinness,
Like
come try these beers. Get to that.
That's
So-
10.2 guys.
So your father already tried to blame me today for his hangover, and then you want to have us drink a cask?
I'm not gonna blame you for it. That's my own fault.
Well, yeah. All right, so
The more
moving
going.
on to the wine. So here's what we're looking at tonight.
This is incredible. I'm surprised. I thought we did
I don't
this.
know why. No, we did not. I don't know why we haven't yet. So this is
I kinda thought we
the main
did.
crawl
Way back when, but
Morgon. And I'll tell you what, if we did, it's worth doing again. And here's the reason.
yeah.
Because Morgon is one of the communes in Beaujolais.
Okay.
Now, that was a 3.6
At a 4.
So, am I wrong in thinking that Beaujolais Nouveau kind of just happened? Like
Yes,
people,
yes. So there's three classes of Beaujolais. There's Nouveau, Cru, and oh crap,
and oh crap, that's actually a very popular
and I just
variety.
forgot third. I just forgot the third
It
classification.
is plainly clear that
Is it a
Beaujolais are the enemy of the proletariat.
So anyway,
It's the bourgeoisie, bro.
I've got to
It's
look
not
up because I am.
All right, so Josh and I are going to give
So
you some
embarrassed
sensory
right now.
updates while Rob gets category 3.
I'm kind of,
Oh, man.
I'm kind of embarrassed.
Josh, tell me what you think about this nose, man.
It's big.
I got, some ancestry. Sorry. .com. They told me it was Irish German. I don't know. You guys told me.
God.
Like, how Irish is your German? Because you could still move to Chicago. Like
All right.
So I get a little bit of
Villages. How can I forget that? All right, so you have Nouveau, Villages, and then Cru.
Yeah, you told me this before, and the villages
Yeah.
kind of I didn't quite understand what you're saying.
Is that the skin of a Bing or a Rainier cherry?
I got cherries on the nose, big time.
Is it
and
Bing or Rainier?
So, I'll tell you in a second, but I was thinking more like Rainier, like those yellow and red, the one with the stripes, the little lighter
kind of where
color,
I was going
yellow
with it,
flesh.
too.
And so all of the
That is the Washington cherry.
communes, not all of the communes, but the communes will do various levels.
It's just cherry on nose, cherry on nose, cherry on nose.
Morgon, being one of the communes, is one of the few Beaujolais communes that their wine is ageable. It's cellarable. Most Beaujolais is meant to be drunk within the first year or two.
So
Nouveau is literally drunk weeks after it's
like not even
picked
done
and brought-
fermenting.
Yeah, that Nouveau is just to get a taste
Isn't
of
that
what
kind of
the year.
spectating?
It is. It really is. It's to get a taste of what's to come.
It's become fancy and an event to
It's
be part
literally
of.
the chef tasting the soup before it's ready. Just like, hey, you want to try this?
There's no salt in it yet, but let's see what it's like.
I just literally put all the vegetables in 5 minutes ago,
Here, try it. What do you think about
And
this?
I'm going to throw the whatever the protein in
Yeah.
right now.
There's no
Go
bay
ahead.
leaf. We haven't even put the bay leaf in yet.
Yeah.
But it's
there's no salt.
meant to give you a taste of what's to come. Which really, a Beaujolais, I always have
So
problems with
where's the
Beaujolais too.
geography on this? Let's get right down to it.
It's
'cause
Southern
means-
Burgundy.
Ooh.
Yeah, this means something about what's
All right,
going on.
Rob. Let's see what you have.
So my guess is they're harvesting
4.3.
just a little bit before
Out of
Burgundy.
2.6.
4.3 out of 2.6. Holy, that is.
And so I would say that they're almost harvesting this grape to let the other growers know what to do with
All
their
right,
wine.
so
How was our weather this year?
here is one other thing about Beaujolais.
That cherry just keeps
Beaujolais, and we have had a Beaujolais not too long ago, probably a month and a half. Beaujolais is 90%, 95% made out of Gamay. This is 100% Gamay.
That's why I like it. I love.
We had
Gamay.
that other Gamay that we tried.
That's
This,
right.
You started talking about this. That's why. Okay.
Gamay is generally, to me, has big notes of bubblegum.
This thing's hold power on the glass.
Now, this is the 2016.
Look how slow those
Yeah.
are falling.
This is
Just
actually
huge spaces.
This is actually aged in our shop for a year. We've had this over a year.
I was about to say I've seen
And
this.
so
on
you
the
said
shelf.
this is the one
I love it.
Morgon age as well.
I love
Morgon
the
is
clarity
an
of it.
aged wine.
It's not a thick, heavy red.
No,
I love the fact that holding it over my hand, I can see my fingers clearly. But I mean, they're shaded. It's not like
It's French.
white wine.
That is French wine. Number one. It's like I can smell fruit all day. I bring this to my mouth and it's like shoes and socks.
it dries out.
Yeah, it's not sweet.
No, it's,
There's
it's not.
fruit there, but it dries
It's
out.
pleasant. It's in this weird way. It's
Now-
so pleasant.
Here's the difference between this Gamay and the one we had last month or month before. That one was sweet on palate.
Oh yeah,
This
I
one,
remember that one.
This one has actually, to me, developed.
Yeah.
This
This is age. This is
I
drying out
think
a
the
little bit.
bottle aging is showing in the softness.
It's drying out a little bit. However, in drying out, it's also, to me, bringing more fruit forward.
the other thing.
Yeah,
but-
fruit was on the front of the palate,
dark-
on the nose.
But dark fruits,
Yeah.
like, you know,
So on the nose, we're getting this Rainier cherry. That's like the last you get of it. As soon as it hits your palate, it's like Bing cherry skin into leather. Wool socks.
Did I drink a bottle of this? At least a bottle of this last year. Watching football, waiting for my fantasy team to win. Absolutely, I did. It tastes different than it did last year. I gotta agree with you. This literally tastes like this wine.
So
is
it's
aged
made
mature.
and bottled
I
into
really
it.
like the direction.
I think it's gotten better. I really.
I like the direction it's gone.
For those that may not have liked last, even the dryness is not like super like.
It's too Bordeaux.
It's not a teeth sucker.
No, it's
I
not.
wonder. Actually, I'm thinking about this. It's probably a pretty sizable plant.
Because I feel
I'm
like
wondering how much particulate is actually down in the
I
plant.
feel like the you
Probably a
gotta
good amount.
Yeah.
you gotta get a good look at the punt.
But so
The bun.
It's the,
this is for those of you. I mean, it's not a huge punt, but for those of you that are
don't mix up your bunt cake. Your,
this is
your
the
bun cork and your punt. And whatever you do,
Morgole Charms Gamay Crawl.
don't pump the bum.
100% Gamay. And whatever they're saying there. But it's like I said, 2016. It's had, we're looking at what, 3 years now that it's aged.
I mean, this tastes
we-
really good.
It's
We
got
had
some
it last
neat
year, so
sour
it was,
notes
it was
on the
really.
side.
I'm almost wanting to let it age another year.
The other thing I like
It'll
about
get
older
softer.
wine, one thing I've noticed, maybe it's just me, when I drink wine that's aged a little bit, it doesn't give me as bad indigestion.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Indigestion, I suffer from it because I love spicy food so much that I should not eat what I do eat.
Do you think it's because the tannins, while there, they have mellowed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tannin
Older
breakdown,
wine,
for sure.
I love wine that's aged a bit because it's easier on me.
I mean, To me, this
Like
this is a drier wine, but it's not drier because of tannins.
It's not. It's just a
Like
dry
you
wine.
said, it's not a teeth-sucking wine.
None
It's
of
just
us have
drier.
really been saying much about tannin being main
This is
feature of
just.
this wine.
This is a thoroughly enjoyable wine. I'd love to have fun pairing it with food, but I enjoy it as is without food.
I think I would definitely start with cheese.
Yeah,
Cheese would be the first thing I would like kind of branch out
Start with some
into.
soft cheeses.
but just because you want to get a little variety in there in the palate, not because you need it to break down the tannins. Because again, not huge tannins.
Classically, that's what, when you have Italian wine that's really fresh, table wine, you almost classically can't even drink it without cheese on the table, right? Like a really fresh Tuscan or something like that. It's just going to be so table ready. You
All right.
almost can't palate food.
No,
So no grapes with this.
no,
That looked awful.
That didn't work.
No, not one bit.
Describe it.
That
Tell us.
sweetness killed everything.
I'm almost tempted to try it with the strawberry now,
that
just to
sweetness
see
and
what
that grape
happens.
killed everything about that wine.
So it went great with the porter. It does not go good with the wine, guys.
That's kind of
Food
thinking.
pairing. That's how food pairings start. You know what it tastes good with, and you know.
You're right. The fruit sugars? No.
No.
I have watched both of them do that, and you know what I'm not gonna do?
That.
Actually, no.
Yeah,
just
he
kidding.
is.
He wants to know. We're gonna make him do it. I bet potato chips would hit nice.
Oh, salt. Yeah.
French fries.
Ah. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
It's mysteriously horrible. You
It
think
tastes like bile.
I
Yeah,
almost.
it takes the
It
flavor.
is so
completely.
strange because usually any wine you can pretty much just serve with grapes. Usually.
Yeah.
And just be like, drink some cheese.
Accentuate,
There you
yeah.
go. Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, it doesn't work at all. And those are red grapes. Like these are. That's supposed to be like what come. This is the grape we grow on vine. that
What's
came
it
from
taste like with the
Hawaiian
strawberry in
grape.
it?
Probably the
But
same
it
thing.
was awful. Like I have no way. It ruined the strawberry and it ruined the wine.
Everything about this was bad.
Now I gotta
So-
drink beer.
So yeah, we've got to with this wine.
I think
I'm
the
thinking maybe salt. This is definitely going to hold up to a steak dish. I don't think it's going to be a big. You're not going to want a big fatty prime rib or anything.
No, because you're gonna
No,
cook that thing too much.
I would.
You
I
want to
would
cook your
want,
prime rib.
I would want fat, but what I would want is.
Maybe a tenderloin.
I would go with like a tenderloin, like a carpaccio would be nice. I would go with like a filet mignon, but I would do like
Okay.
Yeah.
garlic butter
Yeah.
melted on top of it because you want the richness of
Yeah.
the butter, but it makes sure it's good
Garlic,
butter.
garlic butter could settle into this. Really
Compound
nice.
butter, a little compound butter on top of a
Yeah.
mid-rare steak
Yeah.
with the juices melting in there. I think that would go really good.
Anything you can
Creaminess would go
do to
really
tie this wine back to the ground, I think, is where you're
I
gonna.
think that's a good point.
There's an
You know,
earthiness to
this
it.
actually would probably be good, really good with lamb.
Lamb would
Because
be
it's got more of the earthy.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't go
as
pork
long
as
as
I
they
start
don't
thinking about
cave
this.
in and do the mint jelly. Leave the mint jelly off the lamb.
Yeah, I would agree with
Even
that.
your game meat, your venison, your elk steaks
Yep.
could do well. The venison, I think, might run into a problem though. The same problem we had here, where the sweetness of these fruits, things that are naturally sweet, don't necessarily go with this wine.
I'd avoid rosemary. I don't know that I would like rosemary.
No, it'd be way too much. Yeah, maybe something more chill like Sherwood.
And I think as
We're not
as
going
this,
down a Sherwood.
yeah, I think as this wine ages even another year, it's going to get more delicate to the point where it definitely is going to start fighting against the extra spices. It might even fight against garlic or chive, and you know.
Ooh, chive might be a good place to
You
sit.
know what
That's
would-
so
you
earthy.
know
That's
what
so
would
like
be-
just
What would be really good? Beef
Shallots.
tartare with this, man.
tartare with braised shallots.
Well, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you were not far off with the carpaccio. I mean, tartare, carpaccio.
Yeah, we're
It's
talking
all, it's
about
all the same thing.
breaking an egg yolk over a piece of steak, and instead of cooking it, you beat it up.
Yeah, right.
Throw some black pepper at it. Oh.
I want
Hey,
boiled
hey,
raw meat with my wine.
You know-
Thank you.
But I'm thinking also the seared steaks that we do, and
I'll-
then sliced,
I'll tell you,
served on baguette.
kibbe might be fantastic with this.
Ooh.
Yeah, kibbe.
That's the Ethiopian thing.
Ethiopian.
That's the like minced like raw meat mixed with spices. Oh god,
and-
With like the
that's-
cashew nuts folded in and
yeah,
stuff?
Ethiopian slash.
Like Blue Nile.
Yeah, I mean.
Lebanese kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Do you know how to eat it
Lebanese,
like with
yeah.
certain fingers, like a certain way?
And you have pita and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like a Blue Nile restaurant in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh god. Now we're talking. We're talking about
The one time I had kibbe, by the way, was somebody who was from.
that section of the world that ate it.
Yeah. I mean,
it was good.
Lebanese or
Lebanese. He was Lebanese, and let me tell you,
Lebanese. I'm from this part of the world, but I'll share it with you.
I'll tell you, it's not the most appetizing looking thing.
well, it's a frickin'. It comes at you looking like a frickin' ball of hamburger
Right.
with spices in it, and you're like, and as a Westerner, you're like, or
Eastern,
are we
eat that?
Eastern? We're Westerners. As a Westerner, you're like, that's raw hamburger. He's like, no, it's not.
It is a raw hamburger, sir. That's kibbe.
Oh man.
He's like, it's raw, but it's not hamburger.
Yeah, that stuff's so good, dude. Ethiopia's got some good raw meat dishes too. I'm a sucker for the raw meat dishes.
So
it's very pleasing. This is a great wine. I'd love to get this with it. I guess what we're talking about is your fine beef, your fine protein dinners. Like just get right down to it. Get the good cut of steak out with this. Don't overdo your sides. Keep them real low to the ground. Anything that's eaten off the ground, that's growing right at the ground level, that's going to taste good with this. You start picking fruit off trees and throwing it with this, it's not going to do it. That's right. Potatoes, shallots, and beef, which is eating grass off the ground.
You know what I think?
So I think grass-fed
lamb,
beef
which
is
is
going to be a
even
big
closer
part.
to the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
Cheese-wise, what I'd start with
Goat. Oh,
is,
goat.
Yeah.
Gruyere.
Stick with the
I'd start
veggies.
with Gruyere, and then work my way from that. Gruyere is one of my favorite.
So
overrated
Gruyere is funny.
cheeses.
It walks that funny line of being like a soft cheese and just sort of being a stinky cheese.
The Gruyere is one of my favorite overrated cheeses. Like it's overrated.
Over or under?
It's overrated.
Okay.
But it's also really good, so it's underrated.
Yeah, they've been
It's
doing
it.
some really incredible deli mixes of Gruyere. So like a Gruyere with enough cheddar to hold it in a slice.
So I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to, after we finish this, I'm going to go and pull a bottle of this because I'm going to actually
Age it.
put it in my home, my private cellar, and we will try it next year.
It's a hole in the backyard.
We will try it.
It is.
The week after Thanksgiving next year and see what we think.
It's a hole in the backyard, but the best part is you don't even have to go out in the backyard to get there.
Yeah, it's a wine rack.
Rob's doing this. I did some maintenance work for Rob recently, and I got a look at this wine rack. He's doing all right, guys. He's
It's a lot less.
he's putting
empty.
a bottle back at a time.
It's a lot less empty since, or a lot more empty since I opened this shop. Let me tell you that. And you would think because I owned the shop, I would have more. No.
He's been doing his homework, guys.
So
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
The cherries
so
are coming
anyway,
back in the end. This is good. I like that. When you smell cherries, you taste through a journey, and then you come back to that fruit that you originally palated and smelled.
I'm still liking this one.
That just goes to
This
the
is-
whole
this-
roundedness. Of it.
Thoroughly enjoyable.
$19.99 a bottle.
So
$20
that's a good French wine, just under $20.
That's right.
And I've always heard you need to spend over $20 to get a good French wine. And this, I feel like Morgone is just putting that theory
That's
right in
that's
the
what you would hear coming from Barrington.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So time to wrap this thing up. Bring it back around.
Hey, what time they roll up the sidewalks in North Augusta?
All right. So bring this back around. We start the night with the Capella from Ecliptic.
The Capella, I'm gonna flat out, I'm gonna give it a thumb and a half. I can't quite give it 2 because I've had a lot of really awesome pours, but this is really good. This is a solid take on the style. It's everything I want with a porter. Like I said, it's not mind blowing.
Did we get a price on that?
We did not get.
I
a price
think it's
on it.
$6.25. So
the cat?
it's a little bit more expensive.
The free cat.
$6.25. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
a,
how
A little
much
more
volume?
expensive, but it's like 16.9 ounces.
yeah, it's a
It's
little
a
over
full
a pint
pint.
per
It's an
bottle.
English
So I
pint.
mean, you're getting a bottle and a third, a little over a third, a bottle and a third.
With a head, that's an English pint.
So
yeah, I mean it's an imperial pint. No, imperial's 19, so it's a pint.
Josh is gonna give it a thumb and a half. I'm gonna actually, I think, surprise you guys. I'm going 2 thumbs, and here's why. I've had porters this year, just straight flat porters, both from England, from the United States. This one is this is the first time I've had it, and this is by far, to me, better than any of the other straight porters I've had this year. So I'm going to give it 2 thumbs for me. I mean, it's got all the characteristics that you're looking for in a porter. Nothing spectacular, no fruit added like you said earlier, but it's just straight porter.
I liked it. It made me hungry. I'm with Josh. I still think there's a little room. Maybe if it's stepping up on just the body a little bit, stepping up, maybe even bumping the ABV up and seeing like how much of that pure flavor you can keep intact. But I like it. I like this beer, but I'm with Josh. I got a thumb and a half ecliptic on this one. Cool. Just because I feel like there's still a little bit more they could do to that. And I'm not talking about flavor added. I'm talking about just working in category.
It's a really good beer.
So moving on to the Silent Night
Yeah.
from Thirsty Dog out of Akron, Ohio. Nick, it's your beer.
I noticed I just thumb and a quarter that. I actually meant like a thumb and 3/4. So, yeah, whatever. But the Siberian Night, I'm pretty much at the same spot. Thumb and 3/4, like 1 plus a 9 o'clock. Because it's not quite straight 12s for me. It's not just 2 thumbs up. Maybe if it was 11%, maybe if it just, I don't know, the packaging is in the 12 ounce, so it's nice to see a 375 Imperial pint, and that's a very nice personal size container, and I could mix this up in a 6-pack with some others and feel great. I just think, once again, there's a little bit of room that Siberian Night could even improve. They don't even have to change the name. Just keep this recipe, keep going at it. Push those IBUs a little higher. Let's see a little more hop profile just eke its way out in an American stout. Otherwise, though, this is a very pleasant beer. Good to drink. I'm glad I had it tonight.
So I'm going to go thumb and a half.
Okay.
The reason for it is purely a sales pitch point of view. I would love to have that listed as an Imperial Russian Stout.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I know why it can't be, because it's not a Russian Stout.
Yeah.
It would be easier to sell as an Imperial Russian Stout.
You're right, the nameology. So they called it Siberian Night.
Yeah, they're hitting on it. Yeah, this is made in that style. As a salesman, I have to go and convince the person who's loving Imperial Russian Stout that this is next to the next best thing, the American version of.
Is it a play on a 3 Dog Night? A Siberian Night?
I'm not even going to get in there.
All right.
I'm just saying that's why I'm giving it. I like this beer. This is a great Imperial Russian style beer. So, thumb and a half.
All right, so I'm gonna break with everybody else here. I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs.
Nice!
Um,
That's impressive, guys.
simply
Josh
for the
likes
fact
stouts.
that really well made. Got an emotional tie to this beer. It's the second craft beer I ever legally drank.
Oh, really?
Yes, this is the first one was Stout, but that's not craft beer. That's the first legal beer I drank.
That's
Second
Chinese
one was-
Budweiser.
I went from Stout to Siberian Night, which is a big hop.
Yeah.
Yeah. You made it into the middle of Ohio with your craft beer journey.
Yeah,
Usually people start on the West Coast or New
It's
England.
a good example of the Imperial Russian Stout style. It's really well made, it's smooth, it tastes great. Also, it's been around for a long time, and like with the history of craft beer in America, like anyone who's drank craft beer has had one of the Siberian Nights at some point. It's a solid representation of the style. I gotta give the guys Thirsty Dog 2 thumbs for it. It's good. It's really
Solid.
good.
So, moving on to the Morgan Les Charmes Domaine Pro. This is 100% Gamay, $19.99 a bottle.
Is it called Les Charmes?
Les Charmes.
That's fun.
They sure are. So I'm going. I really want to do 2 thumbs. I'm going thumb and a half. Nothing bad with that. I'm reserving my half a thumb for next year because I want to see this age another year.
Yeah, I was gonna.
I like this wine.
I was
really
gonna go generic and just throw a thumb. I'm not gonna like leave any doubt out there. You know, I might come back to this and say, yeah, that's 2 thumbs. I'm just gonna give it a thumbs up and say, yes, try this. If you've never tried Beaujolais, you gotta get into this. If you've never had Gamay, you gotta get into this.
And I'm gonna caution you if you are a Gamay drinker that you like the sweet Gamay, you like the bubblegum Gamay. This to me, no bubblegum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not at all.
This was not a sweet Gamay.
Surprised that
But-
other Gamay we tried had like almost like residual sugar that I'm just not used to with French wine. I was kind of
But-
blown away.
I like this.
Yeah.
I really do. So
I think the complexity's there, the food pairing's there. Those are some things I look at. Am I going to impress my friends? Can I eat it with beef? And, you know, is it good on its own? Yeah, it's got one of those.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a thumb and a half with Rob as well. I want to see it a little bit older. I like it. I love it actually the way it is now. I
Yeah.
liked it before. I love it now. I want to see how much I love it next year.
yep,
You
I'm
know?
definitely gonna pull a bottle.
But it's really good. For Gamay, it's a really cool take on the style. It's just good.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
I just think it's one of those, you got to try it. You got to learn about this. You got to know.
It's smooth.
Yeah, look, $20 bottle.
Yeah, I mean, if you're grabbing a bottle of wine to bring over to somebody's house, and I guess people do that still, you know, grab a bottle
I
and
do.
go over.
You got to know your friends. But, you
I
know,
don't know
I've
if
got
my
bottle for
generation's
one.
killing that or what. I know
Your
millennials.
generation is
Yeah,
killing
millennials.
You
millennials
guys
killing
drink the
everything.
bottle and then show up at the party.
Anyway,
Yeah, no.
anyway,
Yeah.
so that's the review of the beers tonight and the wine, and that's episode 26 of What Are You Drinking Out at the Office?
We're happy
What
you're
are we
old.
supposed to do?
Oh, you should like, subscribe, and comment.
Excellent.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we
subscribe,
broadcast live on Twitch.
And comment.
We go onto our Facebook page with What Are
Yeah.
You Drinking Now, and then we will actually
Odds
our
are you're
YouTube
watching
page-
this on YouTube.
Our YouTube page, What Are You Drinking Now, and then we share it and link it into
Remind them
our
the
the
new
office.
posting on YouTube.
It is What Are You Drinking Now?
That is how
Yeah,
to make it.
I actually made a mistake. I think last week, or the week before, and I said it's the Office Coffee and Wine.
Yeah.
No, the official page for this is What Are You Drinking Now? That's how you look it up, and then it'll come up as it's got a little funky logo, and then which was designed by Matt, our producer, he's MIA tonight. I really wish we'd seen him.
Yeah.
But you know, hey,
Didn't respond to the text. Nothing. He's
Yeah.
probably that new job's probably. Kicking his
it's
ass.
probably kicking his ass.
No, his wife formatted the
And-
computer
Oh well, I
On
don't-
podcast
and deleted
night?
everything.
So anyway,
Oh.
this was episode 26. Thanks, guys. We
Take it
will
easy,
see you next
guys.
week. Have a good one.